I think one of the biggest lessons I learned from my grief counsellor at Winston's Wish was that it's not the grief that gets smaller, but it's that the life gets bigger and grows around it. I think before that, I thought that it would be a thing that kind of fizzled out or faded, or it got smaller in my life, but it's not that. And I think that learning that at such an early point in my grieving process was so important, because it just removed that expectation. It was something that was going to go away over time, but it's not. It's very different from that. But it's something that, you know, life grows around. I think that was a really valuable lesson I learned.
Feeling guilty when you're grieving is such a confusing emotion, but it's also completely normal. I feel guilty all the time. Well, not all the time, but I feel guilty sometimes. I feel guilty if I'm having too much fun, not enough fun. I feel guilty that I'm moving on with my life. I feel guilty if I feel like I'm not doing what would have made my mum proud. Guilt comes in all kinds of ways, and it can be really difficult to deal with, but it's a normal part of grief and you're not on your own.
Like my anger as well. I got so angry, and I was so angry at the world for taking this person away from me that I love so dearly. I mean, my nan was someone I saw pretty much every day. She picked me up from school because my dad was at work, my mum don't drive. She used to pick me up, so she'd be the first person I talked to if there was any issues at school. She'd be the one that I talked to about my day, and that for me was really hard to be like, I'm never going to get that.
Yeah, and that's when you forge that kind of relationship, that's just the equivalent of losing a parent.
You know, there's all these things on social media about, you know, how grief can, you know, as time passes, it will get better and stuff. Like, you don't have to put any pressure on yourself for it to get better, because the emotions you're feeling every single year are so valid. Like, because, you know, you're still loving that person that's passed. So
I think there's so much to be said for how you grow around your grief, and I feel like I talk about this every time I'm on the podcast, but I feel like I experienced things that I felt, I don't know, 1 year after his death, 5 years after his death, 10 years after his death, and they hit me in a different way or through a different situation.
Yeah.
And they still hit me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hang on, I've been through all of this. Why am I doing this again? But then I'm like, but I'm just that little bit stronger this time. I'm just that little bit more resilient. I'm just that little bit more seasoned